What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. Today we are going to be upgrading my personal PC. Since the launch of RTX, we have been busy upgrading several PCs, including Jay's 2 Cents Skunkworks and my fellow GeForce host Julian's Hammer Eye Eagle, whatever he called it. And I'm excited that today is finally my turn. So this is my personal PC. It's an X99 motherboard with a 5960X CPU and currently only has 16 gigs of RAM because I've been loaning out sticks to friends who have been upgrading their own PCs. For storage, we have a 1.2 terabyte Intel 750 NVMe and a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, all inside of the Phanteks Luxe full tower case, which I actually had Ron Lee Christensen of Blue Horse Studios airbrush Alduin from Skyrim on the back panel. This build is over 2 years old and it was actually the first of many things for me, including fully sleeving a power supply, so that's why some of the cables are not quite there. And it was also the first time that I water cooled using hardline, so the bends are not perfect. But it served me well all of these years from gaming and editing. In fact, I actually edit all of the benchmarks you guys see in these videos on this PC. But we've been moving to 4K gaming and editing, and this computer's just no longer up to par. So let's talk about the new parts that are going to be going in. We're moving from an X99 to an X299 ROG STRIX motherboard, an i9-9960X CPU, which is a monster 16-core 32-thread chip. We have 32 gigs of Corsair RGB RAM, and of course a GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. When Corsair heard that I was upgrading, they sent over their entire Hydro X series for me to water cool, so I'll finally have some RGB inside of this case. And speaking of the case, we're actually going to be moving into the revised version of the Phanteks Enthoo Luxe because this one is pretty beat up and the new one comes with a tempered glass panel and I can still use the back panel of this one. Anyways, I have a lot of work ahead of me. Let's get to building. Well, there you go, it's all put together. Working inside of this case is just as nice as the first version of it. From the cable management to how modular the actual case is. I took out the front hard drive cages and the power supply cover to make room for the front radiator and the pump res combo on the bottom floor. The one thing that did kind of catch me though was the actual color of the case. It looked a little bit lighter online, so I thought the back panel would blend a bit nicer, but I'm still happy to have the World Eater at my back. Moving on to the inside, it is a completely different look from the first case that was a black and white theme. This one is much more stealth, from the all black cables that I got from Mainframe Customs to the black components that I chose for the inside. That way the RGB kind of speaks for itself. And that's also why I went with the frosted tube look. That way it catches a bit more of the light and color inside the case. And it was fairly simple. All I did was just wrap the tubes around in a Brillo pad for a couple of minutes and you got frosted tubes. Anyways, let's go see how well it performs. So let's start off with a 3D Mark Time Spy benchmark for both PCs. My old PC scored a 9,031, while my new PC scored a 14,432. Since I do use this PC for a lot of productive work outside of just gaming, I ran Cinebench. Both of these PCs have a slight overclock to them. My old PC was at 3.7 GHz on all cores and scored a 3,280, while my new PC, after just playing with the OC a little, I got it to 4.68 GHz on all cores and scored a 9,343. Alright, so let's go check out some games. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 4K on the same settings that I would use to play on my old PC, which was a mixture of high and ultra settings. I got an average of 46 FPS on my old setup and 68 FPS on the new. Taking it down to 1440p, which is the resolution that I would play on my old PC, it goes from 60 FPS on the old to 96 on the new. In Far Cry 5 at 4K on high settings, my old PC finished with an average of 70 FPS, and the new PC at 85 FPS. Bumping that down to 1440p and it goes up to 93 frames per second on my old PC and 122 on the new. And to top it off, in Battlefield 5 with a mixture of high and ultra settings at 4K, my old PC would chug along in the high 50s to low 60s, while my new PC cruises at around 100 FPS. These are both without RTX because I figured it was only fair if my old one couldn't do it. Going down to 1440p, my old PC would stay around in the high 90s to 100 FPS, and over on the new PC I saw mostly 160 to 170. Well, I'm obviously super excited to take this thing home and finally play Minecraft with some shaders on. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you for the next one.